Hey, Tom, I am so excited. This is our dry run because starting tomorrow morning at 8:30 Eastern Time, we are going to do this every morning on weekdays. I can't wait. So, Tom, tell us what this is. Give us the name of this because I know it's your favorite thing in the whole world.
Oh man, of course I would leave you to do that. Yes, this is the antidote. Uh,
Antidote, yes.
did I get that right? Not the
Close.
anecdote.
Yes. Well, it could be that,
It
but
could be
not.
that as well. That's right. Well, no, you know what, Bob? I'm excited as well because I know for probably 2 years we've been
Yeah.
trying to figure out like what can we do to work together and how can we add value to people and really how do we help solve solutions or provide solutions maybe or even provide the right questions so people can come up with their own solutions. And the opportunity to have a morning chat with you is awesome.
I, I'm so excited. I can't wait. Every time we talk, something emerges from it that's better than what you would have thought of or I would have thought of. And I think bringing people into that, also giving people the ability to share with us and really to provide solutions. I think you said it really well. We are in a time where it's about solutions. There's so many problems and we're in new world. And so each day we're going to try to tackle things like success stories. We've already gotten a couple of success stories that we're going to be talking about in the next couple of days, and also issues that are coming up. So tell us more, Tom.
Yeah, I think the other thing is, and I'm a firm believer in this, as you are, is that it takes partners, especially now. We're sitting at home trying to do work, trying to figure it out. It's not like I can walk down the hallway and ask my coworker, what's your thought on this? And so I think having those partners that'll help us, and I think that's the beauty of our conversations, is that we can be accountable to one another, we can help guide one another, and we can challenge one another. What I love is that we can say things to one another, and it really has no impact on our overall relationship. It's just the opportunity for us to help each other improve, get better, find a solution. It's so easy to get stuck, but having someone to talk to or someone to listen to that might be able to help you figure it out. That's what I love about our conversations is that we always go somewhere because we're willing to be open and to be partners in this situation and understand that we might have a different perspective.
Well, I think I agree with all that, Tom. I also would add that we also go into those discussions with the goal of helping the other person. And there are times I will tell you where I've given you help where it's like, oh boy, he's going to go after one of my customers. I am giving him the gold here. And I'm sure you've done it with me. And we do some of the very similar things. And so there is a natural competition between us. But I think we're really good at putting that aside. And I think that's one of the guideposts as we unpack this whole relationship and start doing these morning discussions. I don't have, this is not about making money for me, and I don't think it is for you. That you're not going to hear a sales pitch. You're not going to hear us say, hey, that's a great situation. Call Tom and pay him $1,000 and he'll fix your problem. This is about really helping people, giving value. And I know that sounds silly and weird to people because we're all about money in this world. But I think where we are this week and probably for the coming weeks and months is it's not about money. It's about helping people get through this difficult situation.
Yeah, I agree. It's about helping people get unstuck. I think that there are a lot of people who don't know what to do, honestly. And and it's funny. I think it's also about who are going to step forward and be the leaders. We have our government leaders who are trying to do the right things to help us move forward. But who are the leaders in our everyday life that are going to grab us by the hand and say, it's going to be okay? This is a temporary situation. We need to continue to take action and move forward. And sometimes it just takes someone to grab us by the hand or the throat, not the throat, sorry, not that, collar, let's
That's
say,
different.
right, and help us move forward, because it becomes so easy to be overwhelmed and frustrated. And, you know, as you're dealing at home with your wife and trying to work there. I've got now 3 kids who are home trying to figure out like what's going to happen to their lives and how are they getting in the way. I'm not at my desk because my son is sleeping in the basement and, we're going to make it work, but we
This
need
is
that.
real.
It's
Yeah.
real. And we just want to help people move forward. And I think that's that's where I think that we can add value as in leaders of not getting caught up, and not that we aren't going to be frustrated and worried, but we're going to choose to take action so that we can continue to move forward and help others do the same.
Yeah, I think it's about taking action. I think you're absolutely right, Tom. If we do the same thing, which is nothing, that so many people are choosing to do, they're waiting this out. I don't think we can wait. And you and I don't have all the answers. I'm not even sure we have half the answers. I think part of our discussion each day is really going to be about what that answer looks like. How do we get to simple things? And before we got onto this, we were talking about some really real issues like I'm drilling holes to get a hard line so that my internet can be stronger so I can do these types of discussions because I've already seen that I've got an unstable connection and that's not going to work for this. So
Yeah.
it's drilling a hole in my dining room, which is not what I really want to do, and then finding a place in this office to run the wire through, which is not my strong suit, nor is that part of the typical work function that I went to college to learn about, nor have I helped clients with that. But that's the reality that I'm faced with today. And I've got to solve it, or I can't do what I want to do. And I think for a lot of people, the thing I would say today is we're going to be advocates for action. And if you're thinking about an action and you want to discuss it with us, and hey, here's my situation, I don't know if I should do this or not, we'd be happy to have that discussion and give you some free coaching advice. And I think you're going to get some days we'll agree and say, oh, Tom, we'll be like the car talk guys, where it's
Oh
the
boy.
same some days, and some days is going to be completely the opposite. But I will tell you, Tom and I will hold each other accountable and be honest in, I know when Tom's not telling the truth. He knows when I'm not telling the truth, and he's going to call me on it. And we're also going to coach each other on some of the real aspects of life. That you can see we don't have a marvelous set here. This is not green screened. Tom's got some sort of homogenized thing behind his head, and I've got a guitar behind me that's woefully out of tune. And this is real. This is home life. This is working at home. And I think that's part of what we're trying to accomplish here is being real, being authentic, and trying to figure out what the next step is. We're not looking 6 weeks, 6 months ahead. We chose this to be today's antidote because, see, I can say it real easily. The goal is to address an issue today because and I know, Tom, tomorrow's going to be different.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, what's interesting to me, the more I think about it, is these times are really, I mean, they're different, but in some regards, every day we wake up and we face challenges. And we have to figure out how are we going to address those challenges. And then once we address that challenge, typically there's something else coming next. So every day we're waking up and figuring out here are the challenges in front of me. How am I going to address them? And I think that, if we can help people take that first step, I think that's going to make this very worthwhile.
Absolutely. Well, Tom, as we said, we're going to. Oh, here's the joy of working at home. I just got a Skype note from my wife that says you're going to have to work on your volume. She can hear me upstairs, so I'm going to have to turn it down. So let me see if I can do this subdued. This is going to be so hard for me. So that's the reality of the situation that my wife is literally straight upstairs, 7 or 8 feet away from me, and she can hear everything I say. And I have one of those loud, bold voices, and I'm going to have to turn it down. Or I'm
It's your
going to have to
inside
go
voice.
outside. Yes, my inside voice. I've never had an inside voice. That is one of
Neither.
those things. Yeah. So, and you're working with your wife like right next to you, right?
Yeah, right on the other side. Although she put on noise canceling headphones. I think she just doesn't want to hear me speak.
Another glowing endorsement for what we do.
Correct.
So Tom, we'll be doing this each weekday at 8:30 in the morning Eastern time. I can't wait to get started tomorrow with it for real, but today was just a dry run for us and also a chance to tease what we're trying to do. Anything else you want to add before we call it a day?
No, I would just say um, be positive and move forward because we will get through this. And you're going to have to be ready to go right away once we get to a point where some sort of whatever anybody terms as normalcy returns. And so you need to take action now.
I'm going to disagree with you slightly, Tom, and say that you can't wait for things to get normal because I don't know when that is or what that is, and I don't know that we're going back to the way it was ever again.
Yeah, yeah.
Look at
I
the
should have said that.
changes we had after 9/11. Look at the
Right.
changes, after the Great Depression. This is today's normal, and tomorrow's normal may look very different or it may look very similar. But the next day we're going to have another normal, and I think we have to
Absolutely.
just accept that there's not going to be a go back to.
The word
I
I like to use, somebody was talking about that the other day, is life. It's just life.
Yeah.
You know what? It's not challenge, it's not struggling, it's not normal, it's just this is life. Life throws you curveballs and you have to figure out how to shorten your swing and take it to the opposite field.
And we have our first sports metaphor. I think
Sorry.
we'll see a lot of those coming down the pike. Well, Tom, let's call it a day. We'll see everyone tomorrow morning, 8:30 Eastern time, wherever you find us.
Go out and make it a great day, everyone.